Same story, but this time it's a Thursday instead of a Friday. We're gonna have the obligatory end of week cigar out in the garage in the middle of the night because we made it home without hitting any deer. Tonight was a 2-for-1. I had one jump out just after I got off the expressway with 2 fawns, which they see the headlights on the bike, the high beam on, and they just freeze right up. They have no idea what to do about it. It stops pretty quick, so not a big deal. At the same time, I'm not really speeding or anything because I know these guys are out there and they're pretty active at 11, 10:30, 11 at night. But really, yeah, it's a couple days a week that there's deer, and they're on the side of the road waiting to get you, or they jump right out. So yeah, just try to be careful, be safe. Wear your gear, that kind of stuff. But tomorrow, because our Ardex, right, the things that it sticks to everything that's going in the shower that was on back order is actually arriving Monday. It shipped yesterday. No, it shipped today. Yeah, and it's supposed to show up Monday. So we're going to take advantage of the weekend break with no bathroom work to do to put in a shelf. Now, I want to get moving on car stuff, but that'll come in time. On Friday, Friday's going to be shelf day, and shelf is going to go above the door, out. I think these are 2 feet. Let me find a tape measure. Okay, so the totes I think are 22 inches according to their little stats. And if I put this in here and hook it on the back of the shelf, yeah, 24-inch shelf. So we're going to do a 24-inch shelf, above the fridge, above the door, all the way across to that side. With the idea being we can get everything. Story of my life right there. Come on, buddy. There you go. Right back at her. We can get everything that's in totes up on that top row, and we're gonna make the sacrifice and just say, if we need any of that stuff down, we're gonna grab the ladder to do it. So in the long run, it's gonna be worth it, because short term I can put car part stuff on those shelves, so that'll clear off this rolling bench, it'll clear off the table, it'll just get a lot of things out of the way and free up a lot of this space so it doesn't feel so crowded anytime I try to work on anything. And then once the car things move along and we're down to just parts that are in the trailer, we can remove the shelves altogether and do stuff like put some of the things that do go over here, because there's still space for them over here, right? I got the smoker in a different direction, so I have more room to store crap like the extra drywall. There's just too much stuff, right? So here we go. Everything's moved over there, so we have plenty of room to work on shelf, right? It didn't take that long. It's just going to make tomorrow more enjoyable because we can get home with the lumber. We can basically get straight to work. I just remembered the other reason I wanted to do this tonight was to measure. So yeah, it's difficult when you got a bunch of crap in the way to figure out what size your garage is, right? I'm pretty sure it's 24 wide, but with these stairs here to get, because right there's the level of the first floor of the house, so that's actually basement wall right there. And these take up a lot of space, so like the wife pulls in and her front tire hits that puts her front bumper like right up against this guy. I think, yeah, that sounds about right, because I remember it was just enough room for me to like sneak by. Either way, I wanted to see how long it was and where my post is going to be, if it's centered or not. So we're 21 feet, and then to the edge looks like about 21, well, to the wall part 21.5.5, something like that, or roughly to the drywall. And it won't matter because we'll put this side up first to the post. We want to put the post on this side of the freezer, which is 12 and some change. I really don't want to, because we're going to do 12-foot boards, so that post is going to have to go here, which means this stuff has to move over, which means this shelf might be too wide. So we may pull all this stuff down too. We'll shuffle these over. Went and got lumber this morning, so we got everything we need to make the shelves. Brought the ladder down, the laser level down, so I got that clamped up on the door there, and just marked up how high I want the top to be. So this gives it space for that 2x6 to hang down, here, which is, it's above my head. So if you can fit through a door, you'll fit under that, and it's far enough from the steps that we're not going to have any issues with it, I don't think. So, but yeah, this laser level is great. It's worth every penny. it actually has plenty of space for the cord. So I must have just butted them up against the shelves, thinking I'd have more room over there. So I moved it enough out of the way that here's a 12 feet. I want to do the 2x4 for the back with its runners coming off of it up as one piece, so that they're screwed in from the back and they're a lot stronger that way rather than towing them together. So we need to cut, for a 12-foot piece, we're going to do 2x2 blocks. It'll be 6, it'll be 7 pieces, right? So one every 2 feet and then one on the end. Then when it gets to the post, we're essentially just going to have 2 butt up against each other, which is fine, on a corner of the post. And we'll notch the top of the post out to do the 2x6. So it'll rest on the 2x4 and the 2x6. This corner, I mean, we'll have 2 screws going in from the 2x6 into the 2x4 that's screwed into studs along this wall. So I'm not a huge fan of only having 2 screws holding up, you know, this side. And so I may take my crappy little rack down and put a board in this way, right? Just a 2x4. It doesn't really need a 4x4 because it has some support at the top, but yeah, wood's pretty good under compression, so as long as you're setting it on top of the thing and then stabilizing it, you can get away with quite a bit. But yeah, I think unless the only other way I would do it is if somehow magically we line up on a stud, right? It could very well be, because this will be on a stud. We might be able to just cut a strip, go from here up, screwed into the stud and on this, and that'll be strong enough. So we'll see how it goes. So 7 2-foot pieces, but not 2-foot pieces, because we're going to have wood on both sides of it, which will take 3 inches out of the equation. So we need 21-inch boards, 7 21-inch boards. So there's 1/2 done. Now I got to thinking about it, and this stuff, I mean, it's pine. It's not like it's super heavy, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put the 2x6 on the other side, because I had plenty of space to get a drill in between, right? So I can get that up now rather than being on the ladder trying to put screws in. The 2x6, I can just do it here on the ground, lift the whole thing up and get it on the wall. Now I'll figure something out, but if I put something on top of the freezer to hold it up, maybe just a tote or a cooler, something to get it just high enough to prop it so I can go around and do the sides. Then it'll stay on, this corner will kind of sag, but we'll use the level to decide how tall the post needs to be and get the post in place, and then we'll sheet it and we'll be done with 1.5. So here we are with just 2 screws, one on that wall, one on that wall, and then totes propping it on this side. Somewhere in there I marked out a stud, so we'll pull the totes because they're holding a little high and get this side level on the back wall, and then we can start measuring for our post. It's looking pretty good. I like it. It doesn't come nearly as far forward as I thought. I thought it was going to be more like out here. So I'm really happy. Just a 2-foot, nothing crazy. Door fits, so shouldn't hinder us coming in or out of the house at all. And then on this end, because it's going to flex down, so there's only 3 screws holding it up. But you'll see right there, see the laser line? It might be hard to see, but so right there is about level. So we need to measure to the bottom of this guy to the floor. And then I got a bracket, so you have to run and do it with a car to screw that up. And I also got concrete screws, right? Just little guys. It doesn't need anything crazy. So, but the heads of these are going to stick up, and they'll end up going into the bottom of that 4x4. What I'll probably go ahead and do is drill out, right? So put this in there, boom, mark out where they're going to be, and then drill a little bit so the heads go up inside, because we don't want it sitting on those heads and then over time squishing onto them and making our shelf bow in the middle. We want to make sure it's on this solid. So a little drill bit with it. It wasn't all that expensive. Everything. Now I had these already, so add $4, I think $4 for a box for that. But buying 3 1/8 screws to go into the wall, some 1 1/4 screws to hold the plywood down. This stuff, the bracket, all the lumber came into around $95. So I mean, for the amount of storage it's going to make and as strong as it's going to be, I'm going to like it a lot. When I originally started doing the math on this for like subfloor framing at 100 pounds a square foot. And I was like, oh, you need a 2x12, you need a 6x6 for this kind of span. And I was like, well, wait a minute, I'm not putting 100 pounds per square foot on it. So I mapped this out just for sag, because everything else is in the wall. And I did sag on the 2x6 for 100 pounds per linear foot, which is still way more than we're going to put up there. So it'll be more than strong enough. I'd imagine I can walk on it if I really wanted to. So you see in the end there how the 2x6 hangs down a little further. We want to notch this out to match. So this is where the 2x4 will sit, and this is where the 2x6 will sit. And then we need to pull it in 1.5 inches on the side. Yeah, so we'll mark this out. Okay, so there we go, like that. So this will be gone, this will be gone, this will be gone. So we'll lop the whole thing off, cut out this little corner, and slip it into place. The idea will be that because of the weight of that, it'll push it under the floor, right? I should get that fan off. It'll put a little bit of tension on it, onto the floor. And then we can kind of tap it, we'll get it plumb on both sides, mark the floor, pull it back out, do our plate, and then install it. And we'll have half of a post sticking out this way for the other side to come into, so that we can screw into it from this side. You ever want to feel like a crazy person, right? So we're higher up in the back, the garage is sloped so the water drains out of it if it ever gets in, and these shelves are pretty flexy and they just kind of form to the floor. So when you come in here and get, plumb enough, right? And then on this side, same thing. Like, yeah, we're plumb, basically plumb. And then next to the shelf, it's like, look at how crooked it looks. It makes you feel like you're doing something wrong. So you got to ignore the shelf and look at only the post, and you're level. Because from right here, it's like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be horrible, but it's not. It's correct. And actually, another way we can check too is measure off the wall up there and measure down here. And just kind of make sure the wall's straight. This are 24 inches up top, and if we come down here, we're dead nuts 24 inches. So we've measured it 2 different ways. This is definitely plumb and on both axes. So we're gonna go ahead and mark the floor. We'll get our plate screwed down here to hold it, and that'll be good enough. We know where one corner is and 2 sides. So pop this back out, get the plate in, put this back in, screw it top and bottom, and we got to screw where all our studs are. We'll see, did this work out for us? What do we have? There's a stud here and a stud here. So not really. I'll decide if I want to put a post in here or not. So it looks like, so I want this on this way so I can get the screws on easy. But got a little bit thicker 4x4. It's not the right nominal size. So I have a feeling if I just hammer that on, it's going to jack this thing and not quite be how I want it. So what we're going to do is go ahead and just shave off a tiny bit from one side of this so it sits nice and square. There we go, that's better. I just did that with the Sawzall. It doesn't have to be pretty, right? It just needs to be functional. And I cut it on what's going to be the back side, so nobody will see it anyway. Yeah, I'm also wanting to see overlap here too, so we got about 1/8 on both sides. So it's going to be like that. Go ahead and right there will be good enough. Maybe don't need it to be perfect. Okay, so plate's installed, and I got holes in the bottom of this, so it should slip into place. We'll get a screw in the top so it stays where it's supposed to be, and then we'll do a couple screws in the bottom there, the shorter ones. Then we'll be banding a while. Then we'll just need to do the ones on the walls, cut some sheeting, and think about maybe putting a post on that side. Okay, so it's looking pretty good. Got all the screws in. I wrote there's going to be screws, and I hung from the center and I hung from the end. You can see it does move, right? It creaks and flexes a bit because these are the only 2 screws. Well, I got some in the corner there, and then there's a stud here, and our next stud isn't until here. So yeah, that's a ton better. So notched it out the same as before. Got it screwed in there, and you're only keeping it in place, right? All of its load is designed with compression in mind, so there's nothing that's going to push this out without extreme violence. And now I can hang on this thing, and it doesn't even move, it doesn't creak. I do get some flex in the middle, but you're looking at, you know, several 100-pound point load, which we're not going to be really dealing with. So it's working out perfectly. We'll get one of the sheets ripped and put up on this side. It'll come out 8 feet, and then we'll get the other ladder, whatever you want to call this thing, up, the framing for the shelf, and then we'll be just ripping plywood. Yeah, and that side's going to be the same thing. I don't think we're going to luck out and hit a stud. I mean, maybe we will. Here we are with one 8-foot sheet up. Yeah, I'm happy with it. So the big ones hang over if I don't put them sideways, but that's okay with me. And actually, you know, if I lip them over, I could probably manage taking these up and down without the ladder. At least, you know, step stool. I won't need, well, I got the step stool right here. So I don't think I actually need my huge ladder just to get things up and down. If I just step stool underneath, you know, I can reach the lip, pull stuff down. Great. So that's even better than I thought. I thought I'd have to use the big ladder. But yeah, it's coming right along. There's really not much more to see because it's going to be the same thing, just above these shelves. And rinse and repeat this side until it's done. It's hot. It's hot. I think it's 90 or 92 outside, and in the garage, jeez, man, even with the fan going, like, I get to a point where I just feel so disgusting. I go inside and towel off and put on a fresh t-shirt, and that lasts me an hour. So take a little break and come back out and hit it again. Here's the end result. Just like a ton more space, right? First glance, it just looks like there's still a whole bunch of crap in the garage, and there is, but we were down to like an aisle, right? Just enough to bring groceries in and stuff like that, and then I have to shuffle things around so I'd have my aisle over here to work. And now we have, you know, a bunch of totes up top, stuff on the shelves that's not car parts is more spread out so that I can see what it is and get to it if I do need it, instead of having to guess and move a bunch of crap out of the way. And then really we can access all of this just by moving the cabinet and this, which are both in casters. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. We got, you know, a lot more walking space, got these off the ground. You're not supposed to store this stuff on the ground. It's in plastic, but I'd imagine it has something to do with temperature. But yeah, it's good. It was a good day. It took all day, which, you know, that happens. I watched my son while wife went into town, and, you know, everything just takes longer, right? So yeah, it's great. It's absolutely great.